Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do.
Good morning everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing okay. If you've watched my last vlog, you will know that I've literally just started the next vlog directly after that. So I've just got in bed. The date is Tuesday the 2nd of September. And I just thought I'd start this vlog now because I feel like in a few hours time I'm going to be very overwhelmed because me, Rob and James are going to the airport together. We have to leave at 2:30. We're going to be so tired. I'm just feeling really burnt out. I just feel like I've had so much on recently. Like, you know, I've had a few problems in my tube, a lot of pain with like granulation tissue. Obviously I've had the problem with my line. Just had a bit going on and I had a whole palaver yesterday with my tooth, which was just not needed. This is also our second night at my mum's house because me and James moved out yesterday from our house because we've got a major problem with our bathroom. I actually nipped around this morning to see the plumber just to make sure it was okay. I'm going to show you this picture. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. If you can't, I'll insert it onto the... you're not going to be able to see it. I'll put it on the screen now. But basically, if you can kind of like maybe zoom into the video, I'm not sure, but there's loads of mould and like the floorboards, everything underneath them tiles that have been put down are just completely rotten. And the plumber basically explained it's something to do with how the tiles have been put down originally, because they've not been put down well, so it's not been waterproof underneath the wet room. So it was inevitable, unfortunately. The house was like that when we bought it. It's not something that, you know, we've paid for work and that's been done, but there's underfloor heating in there as well, which is going to cause a major issue. But the only benefit of this happening and us having a leak in the kitchen and having to move out and borrow money off mum is I'm gonna get a bath. For you guys that know, you know how much I like my baths, and I've not been able to obviously have a bath in our house, and washing my hair, having a shower is really hard work with my Hickman and, you know, my pots and things, and I just know my life will be so much easier when we got a bath. So it's bad news, but it's good news. So, like I said, just wanted to start this vlog now and catch you up, just in case I'm a bit grumpy and tired in the morning. But I'll catch up with you really soon, and welcome to the vlog. Hello everybody, we have now been in Spain, I think, for a few days now. I'm trying to think when we actually arrived. It was Wednesday morning we arrived, and now it's Saturday, so we've been here for a few days and I haven't filmed anything, so honestly I just needed to shut off, and it's helped so much. Like, I feel a bit refreshed now. But anyway, I just thought I would come back on to kind of start the vlog off, and I kind of thought let's do a bit of a day in the life abroad, but like chronic illness style, like all the things I have to do from the, you know, the moment I wake up until going to sleep, to be able to still enjoy myself but being able to manage what I've got wrong with me, basically. So if anybody is new here, I have a few chronic health conditions. So one of them's being gastroparesis, intestinal failure, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I've also got POTS, and I also have chronic fatigue syndrome / ME. It's a range of fun things. But basically, I've literally just woken up at like this moment, like honestly this moment. So I have a dressing gown in Spain. If any of you have seen my vlog from last year, you know I bought myself a dressing gown to keep at my mum's place, so I feel like I'm at home. I've just slept in my hair from last night. I don't know how messy it is, but this is just going to be real. This is going to be real, guys. First things first, I am on TPN, which is total parenteral nutrition, so I'm still connected to it, and we have 45 minutes left before it finishes. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not, but it kind of tells you how long you've got left. But weirdly, sometimes it kind of finishes earlier than it says on there, so that'll be finishing soon, so I'll be dealing with that shortly. But first things first, I need to go drain because I feel minging. The reason I need to drain is I have a lot of build-up. I have a lot of build-up in my stomach from like natural biles and everything else, basically. Because my stomach's paralysed, it doesn't really do much, it just sits there. You guys know I still eat and drink, which I know I've said I will do a video on that soon, which I will do, because I feel like, especially since I've got the intestinal failure now, it's hard for people that are new subscribed to understand why I still eat and drink. So I'll do a proper video on that soon to explain it. But Just woke up and I feel gross. I feel like my belly's hurting, like it just feels horrible. So I know I need to drain, which probably because I've been let down overnight, my natural biles have built up, whatever, and they've not been able to be pushed through my system, so they're just sat in there. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom now and drain. I had my feeding tube changed before I came out to buttons. I always have to remember now I need to bring my extension set with me, because the amount of times these past few days, honestly, I felt really sick. I've gone to the bathroom because all I had to do before was take the top off and it would come out like over the toilet or something. I keep going to the bathroom and realising I can't do that anymore, and then I end up being sick because I've not been able to drain it off in time. So let's go do that first, and then we'll figure out what else we need to do for our day. I'm hoping this angle's okay. I don't really know where else to put you. But I'm just going to take my dressing gown off because it's quite hot in here. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see, actually. This might not work very well. Let me try and put you somewhere else. Okay, we're going to have to do it like this, but you're not going to be able to see my face because I can't get the full thing in. But basically, I need to drain my stomach. So 2 feeding tubes here. This one goes to my bowel, that one goes to my stomach. I don't know why it's lower down. I genuinely don't know why it's lower down. All I remember my team saying is that my stomach is such a long, weird shape that it kind of, one of the scans they did, it showed it like touches my pelvis or something. So yeah, I need to remember to use the extension set in order to do this. So one thing I used to do with, so you need to see my face again. One thing that I used to do with my old one was, it was long, so I'd literally just go over the toilet, open it, and it would come out. Sometimes it needed a syringe to kind of, you know, force it to come out a little bit to begin with. But I have 2 different types of extension sets. So one of them's a right angle one, and one of them's a straight one. Someone commented on one of my Instagram videos the other day to say use a straight one instead of a right angle, and it's easy to drain. So we're going to try that one this morning. I've not tried it yet. You can flush it beforehand if you want to. But I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like this is ready to come straight out, so I'm hoping. So bear in mind, I have obviously woken up, I've not had anything to drink or eat, so I'm just gonna open that, and you kind of twist it in the same as you would do with another one. So I could either hope that it comes out by itself, or I might just need to give it a little tug. So I've just been like pulling it for a little bit, and I've managed to get about 10 mils out so far, which isn't too much, to be honest. And sometimes I can't drain quick enough before I end up, you know, feeling a little bit sick. But sometimes you kind of have to position yourself in a bit of a weird way when you're draining, just because your stomach might be this way, and if your tube's kind of lower or higher up, you just kind of have to move around a little bit. Okay, it's kind of free flowing out a little bit better now. Sometimes once you've kind of like pulled it, it starts to kind of like fill up itself.
You know I want you close.
Right, okay, so we are done draining. Probably managed to get about 60 out, probably like kind of like a full syringe worth, not too much. So I'm probably gonna potentially be sick soon, I'm not too sure. But afterwards, once I've got the tube set, which is here, obviously I don't kind of want to leave the stuff that is still in that tube that's come out my stomach in there. So all I'll literally do is kind of like undo that and then make sure that the tube's clear again. So next time I need to use it, it's not as like gross, because you have to reuse these. Okay, so that is all done. Like I said, managed to get about 60 mils-ish or something like that. Sometimes in the morning it comes out dead easy, sometimes it doesn't at all. It just depends on my stomach, like I can't predict it. This is gonna be such a gross like thing, I'm so sorry if you don't wanna hear this, but it had like, it was a quite orangey colour today. Sometimes it's like green or whatever, yellow, but I was just trying to think like, why is it that colour? But sometimes you have to think like, oh, maybe I had something like towards late last night that hadn't come out my stomach properly, and it's probably a cup of tea, not gonna lie. But it just stays in my stomach, like there's nowhere for it to go, so that's probably what that was. Now I'm gonna flush my J tube. So this is the one that goes to my bowel. It's a bit confusing, to be honest, because I used to use my J tube every day for feeding, meds, fluids, everything. That's how I got all my nutrition. But since I've, you know, gone into intestinal failure, it's a bit of a tricky subject. My meds don't really you know, absorbing there anymore. So my medication kind of like intake is through my judge is kind of decreased because it's going in and nothing's happening with it. So there's a lot of medication I try and take orally now at times when I hope it's just going to stay in. So like my sertraline, for example, that I take in the evening, I try and take it after I've drained, my stomach's completely empty, and I literally just take it with a tiny sip of water and just hope it stays down. But the medication that I take is like ivabradine for my POTS and midodrine. Again, I try and take them orally at times when I know I'm not going to be sick. Sometimes I stay in, sometimes I don't. It's just one of them, you know. Right, okay, this is what I mean. Can you hear that beeping? My TPN has just said that it's finished now, and it told me that it had like 45 minutes left, and it's not been 45 minutes. So that's just finished. So it starts beeping when that's finished. So all I have to do is like turn it off basically. And then on my line, which the one I'm connected to, which is that one, just have to put the clamp on, and then we'll deal with that in a sec. So I'm just going to flush my J tube. I'm not going to put any meds in it now because the only meds that I'm taking in the morning at the moment are my omeprazole. I need to take my midodrine, and I also need to take my ivabradine at lunchtime, which will be like soonish. But yeah, I'm going to try and take them orally today, but I need to flush my J tube because I still need to keep, you know, my bowel in use at some point. So I'm going to use the right angle one because I find this one better for, I mean I could use the same one that I've just used for my G tube, but I try and keep them separate. So I try and remember like which ones I'm using. Now that I'm going to try and use this straight one, I'm going to try and keep them separate because I'll reuse them, so I just kind of know what's what. But yeah, let's do this now. The good thing is, I guess, about my J tube compared to my Hickman line is that I can literally flush that wherever I am. Like there's not, you know, I used to be able to have my feed like out in public, whereas with this line now, like that is so aseptic technique, like I can't just take that off now, you know. But all I basically do is I use cool boiled water for my J tube, and my G tube you can use normal water because it goes to your stomach, your bowel's a bit different. So what I tend to do once a day is boil the kettle and let that cool down, then I pour some in like a bottle or something like that. So I did this last night, so this is cool boiled water, and my syringe fits in it perfectly which is good. So all I'm doing is literally putting water in, and I'm just gonna put in kind of like a syringe full, about 60 ml. So it's pretty similar, but obviously it's a different tube. So it's this one, put it in there. I mean, for you guys that have got tubes anyway, you'll get the drill. But all you literally do is undo your clamp and then put that in. But I tend to do my J tube quite slowly because your bowel isn't as good at absorbing things as quickly. Not absorbing, like you can't just like, I can't just shove this whole like tube in. God, look at the state of me. My thing's all the wrong way. I can't just kind of like put this in really fast because it's not good for your bowel. Your bowel can't handle things that quickly. Whereas I could kind of put it in my stomach a lot quicker. So I would say that one of the hard things that I struggle with, you know, since I've kind of been on the TPN as well, is all the differences not remembering, but just kind of like out of habit. So like this is obviously so aseptic, there's absolutely no air bubbles, there's nothing like that is completely different. So then I've got to remember then my G tube, I can use normal water, like normal water out the tap for that, and the balloon that I change in it, again I can use like tap water, whereas on my J tube I have to use cool boiled water, and then again with the balloon at the back I have to use these things that are in like syringes. And I think just in my tubes in my belly sometimes I can get a bit muddled up, especially because they're so close together. I have tried to drain from my J before, and I have also like pushed meds in my G instead of my J. It's just yeah, it can get a bit complicated. So I've just slowly pushed that in. That is all I'm going to put in this morning. I'm not going to do any more. And I think I'm not going to do any more just because I feel quite bloated this morning. One of the things that I do tend to get, especially since being on the TPN as well and the intestinal failure, I get more bloated than I used to. So with gastroparesis I get bloated anyway, but my TPN overnight, I'm puffy a lot of the time, like in my face, especially, you know, I'm on 2,500ml and it goes through like overnight and stuff. So sometimes I can wake up in the morning and be really, really puffy. I feel quite bloated, but then my stomach feels bloated because of my gastro issues and my intestinal failure issues. It's only yourself that you can feel it, but I always feel it here. And one of the reasons I get quite bloated as well is because my bowel doesn't really empty. Obviously there's nothing going in it to begin with, but you know, things do still need to come out because you've got natural biles. I'm putting stuff in my J tube, that type of thing, but I've got really, really slow transit time in my large bowel, so I have to take like laxatives and things like that. But yeah, I don't regularly go to the toilet like a normal person, so that is another reason why I get so bloated, and sometimes I can get quite a lot of pain there. But yeah, that is just that done now. But now that I've just finished, I'm gonna disconnect my TPM. So this is a completely different kettle of fish, like so different. I've got to use all of certain like packs, like sterileness, stuff like that, but I'm quite used to the routine I have to follow in Spain because I've been here before. I've got like a setup downstairs, like, you know, the drill type thing. So I'm just gonna take my ring off now because I can't have anything on my hand. My finger is so bloated, like so puffy. I sometimes can't get my ring off. I'm gonna go disconnect that now because we're on holiday. I want to like go out for the day. I want to, you know, me and James was talking about going for a walk soon, so I want to get this TPN off now and then I can enjoy my day without being attached to a backpack. And we could have gone out early this morning, but then my TPN would have finished while we were out and I need to disconnect it, so that's why we've had to wait until it's finished. So that's kind of another thing that's frustrating sometimes. You kind of have to time your whole day around when your machines and meds and things like that are required. Right, okay, so this is the difference of the TPN stuff compared to my G-tube stuff. Like I have to have a whole little kind of like station. Obviously like the other stuff I can just do kind of wherever, but this has got to be like an aseptic technique. So I use the tray as my sterile field. That's where everything's going to be sterile inside, and like everything's sterile inside these. So I basically just have everything around me that I need, and before I'm going to either connect or disconnect, I put what I need in the tray to make sure I've got everything. This is everything that I need to disconnect. So it's my dressing pack, Hero's cap, I need one flush and then some wipes. So I know I've got all of that now, so I can kind of wash my hands and get ready. Okay, so now I've done all that, basically I just kind of like set myself up, make sure that I can like get into my seat without touching anything. So once I've washed my hands, I can't touch anything that's, you know, it's a bit confusing, it's hard to explain. But for those of you that watch me for a while also know that I also put something on my iPad just while I'm doing it, just because it stresses me out a little bit less, I think, just kind of trauma issues. I basically start playing my iPad, go wash my hands, come back and then do everything, so.
From a clear sky, oh yeah. Like a honeybee taking off that really shouldn't fly, oh yeah. Like a snowflake falling down on a summer day. It's just amazing. It's a million to one. It really couldn't be. Oh, 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 oh. You're my kind of one of a kind. Oh, 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 oh. I'm gonna get out there and say it, 'cause there ain't gonna be one more like you, no. Ain't gonna be one more like you, no. Ain't gonna be. I could search high and low, but I know that there ain't gonna be one more like you, no. You're my kind of one of a kind, like a black swan swimming.
Okay, that is all done now, so I've disconnected. So obviously at home I've got like a different setup, so everything's already in one place, but in, you know, when I'm on holiday it's completely different. So I always just keep out all the time my wipes, my tray, my sanitizer, etc. And then later on when I need to disconnect, the majority of stuff's already there. Kind of got a couple of bits left over, but before I do it later I need to check I've got everything that I need, and also my ID card. Can't see it really very well from there, but once I've disconnected, I'm disconnected for the day now, so until later. So one thing that I always do once I've disconnected is, first off, I need to charge this, which is the battery pack that actually, you know, is what helps my TPN machine run. So that's the machine there, and this is the battery pack. The battery pack just goes in there, so at all times you should have the battery pack charging that, otherwise, you know, you'd need a new battery like every day. But I put that on charge when I'm not using it, so that's the first thing I need to do. And then also the TPN that has finished out of my bag, discard of that. So this is, hold on, there's so many wires. This is a TPN bag, so obviously it's a lot more full when I first put it in there, but I'm on 2,500 ml a day, and then the biggest slight difference is that I'm on 150 millimolar potassium. I've got 2,010 calories in my glucose bags, and in my lipid bags I have 2,500 calories. I basically just need to discard of this, put my battery back on charge, and then I can kind of like start my day. I'd usually have a cup of tea now. Me and James are going to go out. So I'm just going to get changed quickly, and we're just not going to take long to get ready. But yeah, I'm just going to leave this here. I know my bag is for later, and then go get ready. Okay, I'm pretty much ready to go. I've literally just shoved on like shorts, sliders, and then kind of like a boob tubey top. So it's hot, like it is literally hot. One thing that I could do is, you know, put something on that people can't see my line, but you guys know that, I mean, my opinion changes sometimes. Like sometimes I'm wearing something and I'm kind of like, you know, I really don't want people to see this, I kind of want to cover it up, but most times I am quite good at just being like, you know what, it is what it is. If people stare, they stare. I want to just be able to live my life. Could choose to wear something that could cover me up more, but it's really hot. My POTS gets really quite bad when it's hot. Luckily, because I'm on all of the IV fluids with my TPN, that actually helps. I know a lot of people that got POTS that don't have obviously IV fluids have to drink so much more, but right now obviously I'm quite full up on fluids, so I'm okay, but I'm going to obviously have some fluids while I'm out and things like that. But yeah, I could choose to wear something like a t-shirt, but I know that I'll be more hot and it'll make my POTS like flare up a little bit, so I'm choosing to wear something that's going to keep me cool and go out. But I'm going to just put my bag out, but I just kind of wanted to show you something that I always take out with me. I think I've showed you before, but basically one of them is my Hickman card. You are supposed to have this at all times, just in case anything ever happens. It's to basically say that you've got a Hickman line, you people know what it is. I will be honest, it is hard to remember to take things like this with you everywhere. Sometimes I do go out without it, and I'm going to admit that sometimes I just forget, but I try as much as I can to remember to do that. Another thing that is in here are these. I actually have 4 in there just in case for any reason like them don't work. Because this is a central line, the nick in it, and if something happens and it breaks, I will start pouring with blood. There's no other way to describe it, because this goes in here, and then it goes up my neck, I don't know if you can kind of see there, and then it goes like towards the tip of my heart, so it will bleed out. So this is, they're called clamp scissors, so basically if anything ever happens I can clamp it off. I've seen some people that have had problems with it before, like a picture of them, and you just kind of, say if the nick's like there, you just kind of, I'm not going to shut these, but you just kind of put it above it and below it to kind of stop that blood flow. So always take these with me. In here I also have a couple of hand wipes, just because obviously sometimes if I'm sick or things like that, then I would maybe sometimes need hand wipes, like if I'm draining or anything like that. One thing that I would usually tend to take with me is some drainage bags. I'm actually not going to take one just because we're not going to be out for very long, and if I end up being sick, I'll just go to the bathroom. Sometimes it's just what it is. Like I've just learned kind of like the routine that I need to follow. I could put a drainage bag on now, but my tube's too sore at this moment in time to just kind of leave a drainage bag pulling on it at the moment, because they've just changed it. It's still quite sore, so I feel like in future, you know, I'll have my drainage bag on more often if I'm going out like this, but it's too sore at the moment to do it. And also I don't want to drain when I'm not symptomatic. I don't want to lose fluids for no reason, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put this in my bag. I'm going to go out soon. I am not going to take any of these because I don't have any meds due while we're going to be out. Usually if we are, I'd make sure that I took that with me, and that I've got like a little, I'd either put that in there or I'd just put it in like a bag like that, just so it doesn't leak all over my bag. Also, sometimes I'd put tubey pads on. Again, I'm not going to do that right now just because my tube is the both of them quite leaking a lot. Sometimes it does help with leakage, but at the moment, because I've got granulation tissue on both of them, when the tubey pad dries, it sticks to the granulation tissue. When I take my tubey pad off, it pulls the scab of the granulation off and bleeds everywhere. So again, I would usually put them on because they do make them more comfortable, but right now they're making them more uncomfortable. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll catch up soon, but that is pretty much kind of like a few things I have to do in the morning. My uncle's here. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I kind of feel like half of this vlog has literally been me sat in this position. But today I didn't really film too much because, like I said, me and James went out before, and it's actually been really cloudy today, so we kind of spent quite a long time outside. We had a barbecue tonight, played some family games. I've not really done much like different medically wise for being away. The only things that I've done is obviously I have vomited quite a lot today. I chose to eat some barbecue. I always know that no matter what, if I eat solid food that isn't going to drain, I am going to vomit. Like, I know that they're the repercussions of it. But if you've watched my video a long time back, I've kind of explained the reasons why I do still choose to eat and drink even though I vomit afterwards. I am 100% going to do an updated video because it's going to be quite hard to understand, especially if you're new, like why I choose to put myself through that. But I've been like that for quite a long time. It's just kind of the way I deal with it, I guess. But yeah, so it's evening time now. I think my battery's gonna die, so let me just change my battery in my camera and then I'm gonna fill you in on what I'm about to do now. I'm hoping I am back and all clear. Just changed my battery. So yeah, like I said, that's all kind of we've done this evening, just played games. Now this is the other thing that I basically need to do before I go to bed. So I am connected to CPN for a minimum of 15 hours. So like I kind of explained this morning, I disconnected. So usually I try and plan my days around what I'm doing the next day, but tonight we obviously had a family barbecue and I would have had to remove myself from that for about 45 minutes ish, depending on how I was feeling doing my TPN. It could have been longer, so I chose to wait until everyone's gone. So obviously this is kind of like my doing, but I try and be in the moment as much as looking after myself at the same time. So I chose tonight to not do my TPN earlier, and it is currently midnight, so I've shot myself in the foot, but I'm not too bad right now. If I felt like I was getting really like super tired earlier, I would have said I need to go do my TPN now before I get too tired, but I'm not too bad at the minute. So what I've basically done is I've just taken off my ring. I don't know if you saw me doing that because I'm about to go do that. I've put my PJs on. I always make sure that because I do my TPN towards the evening time, even when I'm at home and it's like even 7 o'clock, I always put my PJs on beforehand, just because I need to be able to access my line easy. One thing that I've started doing recently is all the pyjamas that I tend to wear nowadays are ones that have kind of got like a button up. Reason being, obviously, I'm going to be connected now until 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. So, you know, it's quite a long time. I'm not going to want to stay in my pyjamas all day, whereas obviously if I did my TPN over a pyjama top and I couldn't get it off, then I'd basically be stuck in that all afternoon. It is sometimes easy to get it off, but sometimes it's just really difficult. So I try and use one that is basically buttons, so I can just take it off and get changed. But I like to put my line over what I'm wearing. I just find it more comfortable. Some people have it underneath, but I prefer to have it over the top. So basically I put my pyjamas on. Always have my dressing gown at hand, because if it's cold at home I can put something on like this and then roll my sleeves up. So when you see me at home, I've got my dressing gown on literally all the time. Always try and tie my hair back if possible, or if it's down, put it behind me just so it's not in front of me. Go do my TPM and then I need to take my meds. But like I said, it's quite late. I am tired, but I'm not too tired that I can't do my TPN. But I say that and I'm yawning. Let's go get this done. Also got my iPad so I can put something on. I finished Desperate Housewives that I was watching and binging while doing my TPN, and I've moved on to Devious Maids.
One step forward and another back. I would never try to fool ya. I'm one heartbeat away from going mad. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again. Girl, I need you. How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so complete. Baby, I'll never want anyone new. I was on the bed and you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. You're smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Every moment is another chance. Loving you is all I wanted. I'm wide open for a love affair. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again. Damn. Girl, I need you. How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so complete. Baby, I'll never want anyone new. I was on the bed and you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. You're smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like
I'm really gonna hope that you can hear me and not the TV in the background, because it's South Park and it's the stupidest annoying program ever. Anyway, I'm just basically, I've done my TPN, so I'm all connected now, all running. I am but gonna boil the kettle, get my cold boil water ready for tomorrow so I don't have enough of it. At home, I've got like a much bigger jug to kind of save the boiled water for a few days, whereas here I've only got that tiny thing, which I probably could do to buy something that's bigger. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave that to boil. I'm just quickly moving back upstairs to get my battery pack before I forget, because if you don't attach your battery pack to your machine, so the battery that's actually inside the machine lasts, I can't remember for how long, so I remember once I think I thought I'd charged my battery pack or it wasn't working or something and I was running off the actual battery. It lasts about a day and a half before it just dies. All I basically do, my machine's running now. I'm not sure if I can click it so you can see. Let me just try and zoom in. So when your machine's running, let's see if you can be able to see that. It kind of says there on it basically like time running, it tells you the date, the time to end. It tells you how long's left, and then so I've actually set it runs for 16 hours rather than 15. I'm going to run it to 4 o'clock so I can basically disconnect and go straight back on it rather than disconnecting, be off it for a couple of hours and go back on it. So I've set it to run for just a little bit longer because it finishing at 3 o'clock is basically my whole day anyway, so I'm going to be attached to it, you know, no matter what. And we'll be going out tomorrow night roughly about like 7, so I just want to give myself enough time to kind of sort of do it in the same session. So I always have to kind of think ahead of what we're doing the next day, especially when you're on holiday. You kind of have more plans than when you're at home. So it tells you how long you've got left, and if you click on history, it kind of also tells you how much has gone through. So when I click on history there, it tells you how much has run already, and like when I've literally turned my machine on not long ago, so there's like 12.5 mil that's gone through already. So yeah, all I basically do to put that battery pack in is there's like a little thing there, and as soon as I plug that in, it adds a little other symbol which is there as soon as you got the battery pack on, and when it's not plugged in you kind of only have the battery symbol, if you can see that. So that's basically all in now. It's running. I've got the kettle on, so I'm going to go fill that jug back up because I've used quite a lot of it today. So I have drained a few times today that I've not recorded. Like I said, I've vomited a few times I've not recorded. I did have my meds at lunchtime. I needed to have my midodrine, which is my blood pressure, and my Ibabradine to slow my heart down. I'm going to flush my tube again, evening time, and I'm going to have my sertraline. I'm going to take that orally, and I do actually feel a little bit sick, so I'm not going to take it just yet. I'm going to wait till that's done. But one thing that I do when I'm on holiday, different to home, because obviously when I'm at home I have everything in front of me, I have everything on my little desk, I have everything around me, but I'm going to get out of my suitcase stuff that I'm going to need tomorrow for doing my TPN, just because it's kind of like one less thing I have to do tomorrow. I always kind of work ahead, if that makes sense, so I just try and save my future self stress. So it takes a little bit more time after I've done it, obviously depending on how I'm feeling. If I was like absolutely knackered now, I'd literally just be getting straight into bed. But I am going to go sort my water out, flush my tube. I need to clean it as well because it's since my tube changed, especially my G, it's been quite sore. So there's still quite a lot of blood there, like granulation tissue. So I haven't cleaned it since this morning. So I'm just going to kind of show you what we're looking like just before I let you go. So it doesn't actually look too bad, to be honest with you, but I don't know if I kind of move that there, you can kind of see that it's weeped and stuff. And my shorts that I've had on today, most likely there's going to be like a bit of a mess on them, which you can see there. That's from my tube today where it's just been weeping. So I need to clean that before I go to bed, because otherwise it'll be on my pyjamas and I'm going to wear them again. So I'm going to just wipe it, try and make myself comfortable. I'm going to put my dressing gown on when I go back downstairs. I think the boys have got the aircon on and I'm a cold girl. I feel like I've kind of showed you stuff today, but I don't know if you guys obviously have already watched me for a while, like I've seen me do this multiple times, so just let me know if this is boring. I'm sorry if it is. So I'm probably going to close off this vlog just because I kind of feel like I have showed you a lot of things today, and I feel like because I've been talking a lot it's probably quite long. So I hope that was kind of like newly interesting for any of you guys that are new, but I'm sorry if it was a little boring. I always second guess all of my content, I'm very sorry. I know I've said this before and I have taken notes of kind of what you guys said about the past, like speaking about how I work with a chronic illness, you know, how I do certain things. I've taken notes of them, but if any of you guys have any like content suggestions or anything like that, that'd be really helpful while I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things and like uploading properly. Now I'm back from Alaska, even though I've been back for like 2 months. Like I said in my last vlog, I've already been back for like maybe even more than 2 months, but to you guys it would seem like I've been back for that long. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch up with you very soon. Bye.
One step forward and another back. I would never try to fool ya.